You might not consider these undersea cables of any importance, but in February 1st this year, these cables were responsible for disconnecting the internet of 14,000 residents of Matsu Island in Taiwan. And it can also happen in your country if a Chinese company controls these cables because the disconnection at Matsu Island was not caused by an undersea earthquake or a shark biting, ripping these cables apart. It was actually caused by a Chinese fishing vessel who intentionally wanted to impose their control over Taiwan. Now, the most astonishing part is that there are more than 400 cables like this spread out near the seafloor of every major country in the world. And these cables not only allow us to watch our latest Netflix episodes, but also contain highly sensitive data related to military secrets and banking transactions happening worldwide. So whichever company constructs or lays down these crucial wires has the opportunity to secretly tap into our personal information from a distance. You might be thinking, what about Tesla's Starlink? Well, till now, Starlink 2 has been available only in 40 countries, so this is a traditional method on which our international internet data depends. Unfortunately, these wires have now become a major reason for an undersea tech war between the US and China. Specifically speaking, in 2020, bids were requested to lay down undersea cables that would connect Southeast Asia, the Middle East, Western Europe. The cable would link Singapore to France with the objective of providing high-speed internet data. And the bids were presented by a group of major tech companies like Google, Microsoft, Meta, Sri Lanka, Telecom, and other major tech giants of differing countries. However, the issue began when a Chinese company called HMN Technologies desperately wanted to take this project at a cheaper price, which was $500 million. On the other hand, a New Jersey-based company called Subcom offered to complete this project for $600 million. Of course, the tech giants group was ready to give this contract to HMN, but before they could finalize this deal, the US government stepped in to change the entire perspective of the group. Surprisingly, they even sent their senior diplomats to Singapore, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. This was the aim to convince these executives of tech companies who were part of this group. Some of their arguments talked about how HMN Technologies was owned by the Chinese Huawei, the same company that was banned by former President Donald Trump due to fears of cyber attacks.
Not to use Huawei because we think it's an unsafe security risk. It's a big security risk.
While the other arguments talked about the less experienced nature of the company, for example, HMN Technologies built only 7% of the undersea cables worldwide, whereas American Subcom had dominated the construction and laying down of fiber undersea cables for decades. However, the argument that convinced the group to change their mind was when the diplomats stated how tech companies could go bankrupt if sanctions were imposed by the US on HMN Tech in the future. Because in Asian countries, tech giants would not be able to sell their data to HMN Tech, who would try to take revenge by controlling the cables. As a result, the contract was transferred to Subcom despite it being $100 million more expensive. Not to forget the growing tension between the US and China over Taiwan, China openly supporting Russia over Ukraine also convinced the group to not consider HMN Tech for this project. Now, we might call ourselves lucky that this project has been handed over to a safer company, but these actions from the US have now increased the level of tension between the two. Because after being rejected, former Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang openly stated that the conflict between the US and China would keep on increasing unless the US cancels its policy towards interrupting in China's business. So now it's time to ask you, what are your views about the rising tensions around these undersea internet cables? Tell us in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the like button if you like this video. And once more, thank you for watching.